As I meet with people, the number one question I'm asked is, will there be a federal election this fall? It's not a simple answer, but stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts. It's been nearly 9 months since the first COVID-19 case in Canada, and our government still remains virtually leaderless. Yes, Justin Trudeau and his close inner circle have led us through this crisis, if leadership can be defined by a blank check. What we've seen is mismanagement, lack of transparency, and scandal after scandal. Canadians elect 338 people to Parliament, people who they expect to lead them. Parliament is expected to propose, debate, and vote on legislation. But that's not the case. There is no Parliament right now. Justin Trudeau prorogued Parliament in August to stop the investigation into the WE scandal. But even before that, Parliament had met very few times and was reduced to a Zoom-based committee meeting where no government business could be conducted. I and others in the Conservative Party have tried to force the government back to work, but the NDP continues to support the Liberals in their attempts to muzzle us MPs. That's how we got into unimaginable debt, into the WE scandal, and into the firearm ban. Which leads us to the question, will there be a federal election this fall? Let's look at the reasons to not have an election. First, Canadians are still preoccupied with COVID-19. As students head back to school, parents are focused on what that will look like. Cases are increasing in parts of Canada, so we need to remain vigilant. Our country can't afford to be shut down again. I think the party that initiates an election would not be looked at favorably by Canadians. Now, from a political perspective, Trudeau isn't doing great in the polls. While most leaders have enjoyed popularity boosts during COVID-19, Trudeau is sagging in the polls. Conservatives would rather focus on leading Canada through COVID-19 and the worst recession in generations, instead of going to the polls. Now, what are the reasons for having an election? Well, quite simply, political opportunism. Even with sagging popular support, this still might be the best opportunity for the Liberals. As the months go by, there could be another wave of illness. The cash handouts to Canadians will have to stop. People will begin to feel the real pain of our recession, and taxes will have to be raised to start paying for all this spending. None of those things would be good for the Liberals. Add to that our new leader, Erin O'Toole. Erin is quickly proving to Canadians that he is the right leader for Canada. The more time Erin O'Toole has to show Canadians who he is, the more likely people want to vote for him. Justin Trudeau wants to nip this in the bud before Canadians get a chance to know Erin. Trudeau also knows that it takes time for a new leader to get into the swing of things, so a quick election would be a way to take advantage of us Conservatives right now. So how would an election be triggered? Well, Parliament will resume next week in some form with a speech from the throne. That is the Prime Minister's speech on his plan for the government in the next parliamentary session. All of us in Parliament will get to vote on this plan. This is a confidence vote, meaning if Justin loses the vote, we're in another election. After this, there will be multiple votes on various things. Some of those votes are automatically confidence votes. If the government loses the confidence vote, the government falls. Trudeau can also designate any vote to be a confidence vote. If he wants to have an election, this is what he'll do. With traditional voting, you can see how everyone is voting, and our leadership has good control over the voting process. If we're voting electronically by app, it basically becomes a secret ballot, which makes it very difficult for leadership to know what's going on. In fact, it makes it potentially easier for the government to fall by accident, which may be exactly what Trudeau wants. I, for one, am ready for that. I'm sick of what's going on with this government, and if Canada wants a fighting chance in the post-COVID world, we need a new Prime Minister. Erin O'Toole is ready. I am ready. Saskatoon people are ready. In fact, we will soon be in the middle of a provincial election anyway. But is Quebec ready for an election? Are the NDP? For the House of Commons to fall after this throne speech, it requires the votes from the Bloc Québécois or the NDP. What is their intention? I can't tell you. What I can tell you is that another year with Trudeau as Prime Minister means another mountain of debt for our children and our grandchildren. That's all for today. Leave a comment of what you think and give my office a call if you need anything. Thanks for listening.